Hi guys. Hello.
Hi.
What's going on? How are you?
Hi guys.
No answer. No one's answering. How are you guys?
Oh, you're tired.
A little tired.
You know what time we got up this morning?
Oh, are you tired? Oh.
6.
We got up at 5. We were on a radio show at 6.
Everybody knows.
I don't want to hear it. We're all tired.
Yeah, I was up at 4. Hey, it's a Ravens shirt under there.
Yeah, it's
Good job.
Sneaky.
So I don't know how this works.
They're gonna begin filming. They're gonna put in recorders, and then we're gonna call on them, and they're each. We'll select them ourselves.
Do we answer it in English?
Yeah, we answer in English.
no,
Is it
not.
okay if I talk here and then give it to you? Because it's going to be super weird otherwise.
Yeah, we do that.
I'm never calling on you.
All
All right, you guys
Are
ready?
we good to go?
Everybody rolling, everybody filming, everybody recording.
Phones on silent.
Okay. This is not my first press conference. I am ready.
Now that Alex has started us, he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
All right, good to go. See you guys. Thanks.
All right, you can start. Miss Red, up at 6 a.m.
Miss Red
Is
here.
that right?
Since you're so tired, I don't want to waste your time.
It's pink.
It's okay.
It's more of a pink.
No, this
Fuchsia.
is really red, I think.
Fuchsia?
No, red.
I'm saying hot pink.
Red. Are you
The old-
colorblind?
It's hot
Perhaps.
It's
Is that your first question? Because that's
Holland
like,
red.
Yeah, maybe
okay, next
it is.
question. Are you colorblind?
All right, you ready then?
They are.
Are you not?
We're
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
They are colorblind.
perfect. So you guys are on your album promotion tour right now. How's it going so far?
Terrible?
It's going well.
You can hear it like that.
It's going well. Yeah, it's been a journey, an adventure so far. We've already been to Australia, New Zealand.
UK.
We did the UK. So we've been bouncing around everywhere, but it's nice to be here now, and it's cool to see the gears turning. You know, like we spent most of last year
On our couch.
making this record and getting it ready, and so it's nice to have the payoff of finally getting to talk to people about it and play some songs for people.
Yeah, it's also cool to see the reaction of Something's Gotta Give because it's been up such short amount of time. Thanks, bud. You got it. Usually it takes a while for fans to kind of react to the song.
I had to super glue it.
Sneeze on that?
But this one has been kind of really intense
Just do the tongue
crowd-wise
right there. Just poop on it.
from the start. Sorry.
Thanks.
Throw it back.
There we go.
Oh!
You can do that. I'll catch
Oh.
it. Thank you.
Raven shirt.
Yeah. What made you tour Europe and UK and Australia before the album release?
Great question.
You know, I think it was just that we knew the single was coming, and we knew that we were gonna release a few songs prior to the actual album coming out. And really, we were antsy. We just wanted to get on the road. This band loves touring, you know. That's what we do.
Also, we're coming back to a lot of European cities and UK for festival season after that, so we figured get in a real tour and then do all that kind of stuff afterwards.
Exactly.
And we win twice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Your album is called...
Sorry, that is a clean window.
Yeah.
I can't even tell it's a window right now.
There's 3 smudges.
Oh, yeah. All right, sorry, bud. Go ahead.
Your album is called Future Heart. In what way does the future did it, inspire you for the songs?
But it was written in the perspective of
Past Hearts doesn't sound as good.
exactly. If I could go back and talk to myself at these moments that our band has had throughout our career, and kind of tell myself that we were on the right track and stick to your guns. That's kind of what the record's about. Hindsight's 20/20, but you know we don't have many regrets after all these years, and it's kind of about the theme of the record is sort of about living with intent and to get to exactly build it for yourself.
Yeah. And what can we expect in the future?
Probably breaking up.
Hiatus, definitely.
No. I mean, the record's so new, so for now, foreseeable future says tour, and you know, talk to you as we can, and meet as many new fans as we can, and
Yeah, we've kept pretty much the same recipe through our career. It's, do a record, tour on that record relentlessly for like a year or two.
Make a lot of money and then drug binge.
Drug binge until we don't have any more money. Then we have to make a new record,
Yeah.
and then you rinse and repeat the whole thing. And it's worked out for us.
It
so far.
works.
Yeah.
Drug Binge is a great band name. Dibs on
Ooh, nice.
Dibs
nice.
on Drug Binge.
Got him.
Anyone? Yeah.
In what way do you think this album is different from your past future album albums?
It's a few. I mean, each record has its own identity. With the exception of Don't Panic, each record kind of has a few songs that sound different. You have a couple songs that are pop punk, a couple songs that are acoustic or whatever. Don't Panic was pretty much straightforward, go, 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 pop punk, pop punk, pop punk. With this one, it's just that you have these groupings of songs that are fresh for us, and there's some really fast ones, there's some slower ones. There's just a nice combination of all of them. You can kind of favorite type of all-time low, and it's going to be on that record.
We
It almost,
definitely-
it almost feels like Nothing Personal on steroids. I feel like if we could have written this record during the time of Nothing Personal, I feel like that's what we would have done. I do think that it is probably one of the more well-rounded albums we have.
Yeah,
It's very dynamic.
I was about to say, it's probably one of our more dynamic albums as far as you get, I think, a few all-time low songs that you would expect to get on any all-time low record. Obviously, hopefully pushing the envelope a little bit, but then you also get some stuff that I think is a little bit different and a little bit new for us, which is good because we don't want to get bored.
But since we worked with the same producer for a majority of the album, it's a lot more cohesive than, other albums where we went with 10 different producers and tried to get different sounds. There's different songs, but as a whole, it sounds like the same album just because it's...
And the ones that we
unified.
didn't do with that producer were done with the guy who did Don't Panic, so there's always an all-time low feel to it throughout the whole record.
I think, one of the biggest things is that I think since Don't Panic, All Time Low is a much more realized band. I think, I would say all the way from the EP to Dirty Work, I think we were sort of who we were.
Yeah.
Because we were always pretty young when we were making those records, and we're still young, but it felt like with Don't Panic, we sort of hit this point where we were much more self-aware of what we wanted to do and what we wanted to accomplish with our music, and so I think Don't Panic and Future Hearts are much more self-aware records.
Next.
All right. So you guys.
Pink shirt.
You what?
Pink shirt.
And the
Pink
fuchsia?
shirt? It's red.
Just down front, the
Just
fuchsia.
Stop. It's red. Okay. Okay. So you guys won 2 Alternative Press Music Awards last year. For Song of the Year, featuring you picked one piece for A Love Like War.
Yeah.
1 Artist Philanthropic Award for your work for Escape for Cancer. First of all, what's it like winning such amazing awards at the first ever APMAs, and now you're hosting it this year, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. Like, do you have anything like cool ideas and whatnot for that?
Yes, it was very cool to be nominated last year and to win.
Performance.
And the performance was really rad too. We got to play with some of
Yeah, it was cool.
favorite friends bands, and it's cool whenever award shows are award shows, and it's really cool. There's a lot of them out there, and AP did a really good job of setting themselves apart and making something that was new and fresh and awesome. And we were really excited to be a part of it then, and it's always really cool to get recognized, and win.
Yeah.
We don't get many trophies, but and then with the hosting thing, it was just kind of one of those things where.
We don't understand why we have it.
Yeah,
Because
totally. I don't
your
know.
humor is like so ranchy sometimes.
Ranchy.
That's
It
probably
is.
it.
We're raunchy people.
I'm wondering, we haven't really discussed scripts or any of that, so I'm wondering how much we can actually see to kind of dumb down our humor, keep it PG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family friendly.
I guess we should wear professional and be good.
It's gonna be we're gonna be the most professional that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's gonna be cool to host just because Jack and I are hosting, quote unquote. But they've been really receptive about getting Ryan and Zach involved. And
I'm not going.
Ryan's not.
You're not going.
We're not. Yeah, I said
Ryan are going
if I'm
to
not hosting, I'm not going.
We probably weren't gonna win it. So by hosting, we kind of just eliminated. Yeah,
That's why we didn't win. They didn't want to. They wanted to have.
Trying to steal an award.
Totally.
On who would you do that then?
Pierce, I think we've
We
done
should-
enough for Pierce to Vail. I mean, we could steal whatever we want
Yeah.
from them.
We should get award for best award show hosts.
little
Will you
bit.
give us that? Will you present that
Write
to
that
us?
down. Someone write that down.
Yeah, I'll present that one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I have one more small question. Can you tell
Picture.
me?
In the fuchsia down front.
It's red. You're making me so
Do
sad.
you want the girl, the one in pink?
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia, sure.
Can you tell me something about the recording and writing process of your album? Because John Feldman produced it, if I'm right.
Yes, you are.
So can you tell me something about that?
He's a insane, you know the Tasmanian Devil? Do you know the Tasmanian Devil over here in this airplane?
Spins around.
It's just a crazy tornado of energy, and it forces you, if you're not feeling like, if you're kind of feeling down or just like not as motivated that day, he'll force you into motivation just with his sheer intensity.
You're gonna be motivated.
Yeah, and then on days when he's almost too much, you can kind of like you really learn how to focus in with him, and it was just a whole new dynamic. I mean, Alex had written with him once before for us with Hero, and as a band though we had never gotten this, and it was eye-opening for sure. I mean, we've never dealt with anyone like that, and it was such a great experience in that he just brought a whole new sense of energy to the table, and it shows through on the record too.
Yeah.
So he's awesome, and we had a great time with him.
Yeah.
And he's good at ping pong.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did he beat you?
Every time.
No, I ended up beating him.
Yeah, but like 10 out of
But
10 out of 10.
guys that like you beat him, and he's like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, it's fine. So I don't need to win.
You almost want to
And you're
leave
like,
the studio for the rest of the day because you're scared.
But
Yeah,
Ryan's
very
kind of
good.
the same way, so it creates
Next
a weird
question,
awkward
please.
tension.
I got a lot better at ping pong.
Yeah, we spent more time playing ping pong than we did doing the record.
Yeah. We wrote a great song about ping pong.
It's a secret.
No, I
it's
didn't
a
make
bonus
the
track.
record. One day.
Didn't make this
It's
record.
gonna be the first single in the 5 seconds.
It's just gonna like little ping pong rock. Ping pong,
Yeah.
ping.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scratch this. There we go. Yeah, go ahead.
And where did the main songwriting instrumental influences come on Future Hearts?
I would
That's
say,
too good of a question that we can't answer it.
I don't know. I would say kind of all over the place. I mean, there's a fair amount of '90s influence on this record. I would say we kind of dug through things like Nirvana, Foo Fighters. There's always, but at this point in our career, there's also, like I said about sort of feeling more realized with All Time Low. We're kind of trying to perfect our craft as well. Less of like looking out at other artists and a lot of internal evaluation when we go into the writing, kind of like what worked on our previous records and what felt awesome and what had a great energy, what made All Time Low. And so there's been a lot of kind of that going into writing our songs.
It is interesting that you asked that because the song that Mark Hoppus sings on, it was written before we knew Mark was ever going to be on it, or even we're going to ask him to do it. But I remember when the guitar tones, we were trying to go for a Blink thing with that song.
Oh,
Remember
totally,
that?
yeah.
We were trying to capture like the Stay Together for the Kids guitar tone in that song. So it ended up happening that Mark was singing on the song, but yeah, it's one of the
just
motivations.
within our roots is you have Blink, Foo Fighters, Green Day, Third Eye Blind, and
Rush.
and so that stuff's always going to be present. And then, like he said, it always kind of makes a difference what you're listening to around the record that you're making. But at this point, it's not like thinking to ourselves, okay, how can we write more like Green Day? How can we write more? It's just how can we make the best all-time low song that we've ever written? So that's a good question.
Well done.
So with all your
Yes, we're going to hear new things of you in a couple of months, but we're also going to see a lot of you. The live DVD and the Fangirl movie. About the live DVD, will it be a straight to DVD part 2, or will it be
We don't know yet.
completely different?
Yeah, I mean it's
essentially.
it's very much
Yeah.
it's very much still in its early phases, but yeah, I mean I think
You can see our video guy over here
Yeah, it's
working hard.
working really hard.
we definitely want to make a continuation of the last one. I think.
So with documentary.
Yeah. We've got a lot of fun ideas for it. So
We're starting to find out that we're not as funny as we used to be. So
So
we're just
older.
trying to, we're going to acting classes. we're doing-
we also got a lot fatter.
we were just watching like just little dressing room.
Yeah, we used to be
were,
so
like,
cool,
God, our
man.
whole band and crew is like 4 years old when we did this.
Really young.
But yeah, I think it will be the same format. I like the idea of straight DVD where you can watch it straight through and see some live performances, some of us, and then you can just choose to watch only the live thing. But
Yeah.
so hopefully we keep with that. But
And about the Fangirl movie, how is it? Which one of you is the worst actor? Did you have to
In the
act?
movie, there was only one. Alex was the only
Yeah.
one that had lines, and he's actually a really good actor.
We're all pretty terrible actors.
But all we had to do was perform,
Yeah.
so it was pretty easy.
But do you play as being all time low or as
Yeah,
another-
we
oh,
play ourselves.
We're basically like she goes to a show and we're
Yeah,
there. We're the band.
There were two parts that we were in. I don't want to give too much away. So I had a moment where I was actually doing some like stuff with the actors and feeling really
Yeah.
inadequate.
You did good though.
Thank you.
No doubt.
And then the other stuff that we were in was mostly just us playing. So it was kind of, at first it felt very much like filming a music video because we just had to get up there on stage and play for the camera. And it was basically just like we were playing a show or filming a music
Yeah.
video. But yeah, it was fun though. It was cool to be able to like, to bring that dynamic to a film because like you said the other day, it was weird feeling like you're shooting a music video in the center of attention because
Yes.
Kiernan, the star of the movie, was there and like the cameras are all on her and following her and we're just kind of in the
Yeah,
background.
you're
like,
so used to having like a camera
Look
right
at her!
there.
Fuck! So yeah, it was different, but it was really cool and the movie's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Will there be music from Future Hearts in that movie?
I hope so.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I hope so. They sequence a lot of the music based on the script and stuff like that. So,
Alright.
but yeah, I mean, I
Alright.
In the future, would you ever look at making a concept album or recording a double album?
No, the latter.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, double albums are cool when they work, but in this day and age, it's really hard to even get people to listen to one record. So, you know, I always struggle to justify putting out 27 songs in one release just because it's almost too much to process these days. But you know, if there's a time and a place, and if there was for some reason a concept that we felt like we needed to get across in that many songs, then sure.
I like the idea of like a record and then a record that comes out with it of like demos and B-sides and stuff like that, or like acoustic versions. But like he said, like 24 new songs, just
It's a lot to.
it just always, even if it's the best songs you've ever written, it puts off a vibe of these are not the best 12 songs we have. These are the 24 mediocre songs that we have. It might not be the case, but it just always makes me feel that way.
I don't think Future Hearts is a concept album, but I do think it's probably the album out of all of ours that it's kind of has a central theme throughout the entire CD. Which I don't think we've really ever done before.
Starting with Don't Panic, we sort of, from a writing perspective, got much more fixated on a theme on the records and having an overarching idea that kind of encapsulates all of them together. So yeah, like you said, Future Hearts is definitely the most realized in that sense. But it's not like the Black Parade or the American Idiot where there's like a comic book and a play to go along with it. Maybe one day.
There will be.
Awesome.
One day we will.
We're not smart enough to
We
do
should
that.
do a porn. We should do like we should do a record that's 12 songs that syncs up with a porn. That'd be great.
It's the saddest porn in the world.
Is anyone in the back?
She had a question.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Your band has been influenced by Blink a lot.
Yeah.
How was it to record?
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was super casual. I mean, we said this the other day, like, these kind of things, and it's the best thing in the world, are very casual. It's not like managers calling managers. This was honestly, I think, like you texting Mark.
We were in the studio working on the song, and I was like, it would be really cool if Mark sang on this song. And so I texted him and I said, hey, we got a song that you would sound great on.
30 seconds later.
And he was like, sure, all right, come over. So we went
In his house, yeah.
Yeah, it was really casual.
It was
But I
like-
mean, we were all, I mean, for, you know, Alex, known him for a while, but even for me, like, it's just, it's still Mark Hoppus, you know what I mean? He's the reason that we started this band, and the fact that he's a peer now and a friend, it doesn't change the fact that, like, when he's singing on one of your songs, you're like, oh, that is Mark's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan engineered it too, so he was like telling Mark, like, hey, could you sing?
Yeah. Just try it
Hey, why don't you try one more time?
That was perfect, please. Just crying. But no, it was awesome, and same thing with Joel. Like, it's just very casual, and we've gotten to the point where we can be friends with these people, and it's just a really fun, good environment.
Friendship is warm, friendship is touch. That's kind of the motto we go
That's
with.
very true.
It's the mantra.
About to sneeze.
Anyone back here? Or are you guys just photographing? Just photographing?
No one answers.
Nodding behind your camera. All right, cool. All right.
You've released a lot of singles, but none of them catch on the radio. Now, Something's Gotta Give is really going well. What do you think changed?
I don't know.
The devil, Illuminati.
It's a good, like, we've had some, you know,
Those are people.
UK has always been pretty radio friendly with us, and there's been some markets in mainland Europe and stuff, but you're right, I mean, most of our songs have been singles for like fans of YouTube. We make a video, but I don't know what it is, but something's got to give. None of us really foresaw it happening, I don't think.
I think music's very strange in that it's very like right time, and I think the music world as a whole is kind of on the edge of rock music really coming back in a big way.
Alex has been saying this for 10 years, by the way.
I've been really fighting. No, guys, come on. You know, I think in like the early 2000s, rock music really started to die out, and you saw the beginnings of it with, you know, Blink going away, and then the Foo Fighters not making records, and you know, My Chem split up, Fall Out Boy split up, and there were all these bands that were sort of the front runners of rock music and music from our scene, kind of just disappeared. And when they all disappeared, it didn't leave a lot of room for new bands to come up. Instead, all those spots on radio that you would have heard those songs got filled up with other kind of music, synth, Mumford & Sons. No hate on them, I love those guys, but like just different, something else popped through, which is what happens. But
There wasn't a ton of electric distorted guitars.
yeah, it kind of. So for that like 10 years almost, there was just something else that was connecting with people, and I think it's all cyclical. So it sort of feels like it's starting to come back around with, you know, bands like, obviously Paramore had a massive record recently, and Fall Out Boy's back. And
Bands like 5 Seconds.
5 Seconds opened up a lot of doors, and you know, and then Royal Blood and bands like that who are, you know, really bringing rock back to the forefront, and it kind of gives us an opportunity. We never stopped doing what we had always done, but maybe it just wasn't at the front of what was going on in the mainstream. So it kind of gives us an opportunity to knock on that door again, I guess, which is cool. But we never really relied on it either, which always felt really nice. You know, it felt great to know that we could still.
And it helped. I mean, had we relied on it early on and gotten a radio hit, suddenly the radio dropped off for us, you know, that would have been all we had to stand on. But instead, we toured and built our career around our live show,
Yeah.
which is why I think we're still here today, you know, 9 years, 10 years later.
Totally.
Yes, Alex, you've been writing with 5 Seconds of Summer.
Yeah, I did some writing.
They're like the new generation in pop punk. Does it feel when you write with them, you're passing some of that Autumn Low DNA through a new generation? So that
I've spread my DNA. No, that's gross.
It's nice. You're just old enough, right?
Yeah, no, it's really cool for me to sort of be a part of something like that, because especially when they've sort of told us in the past that they looked up to us and that we kind of were one of the bands that they modeled themselves after, just like I got to say that to Joel and Mark and, you know, people that we looked up to. So it's cool to see that that's continuing on, and that we're leaving a legacy that people are following. It's pretty nuts to think about, because I don't think we ever expected that. We still don't feel like we're that kind of band where people look up to us, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. And it's fun to work with them. It's as I continue to become kind of a writer for other people, it's just awesome to get a foot in the door with good folks.
do you think you can learn something from them as well?
Totally. They taught me all I know about World of Warcraft, and Michael did. And yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Those guys have a fresh take on everything, because they come from a new generation of bands and artists, and it's like the world of, you know, being able to put a cover video up on YouTube, and suddenly like a label discovers you because of that, and the next thing you know, you're writing songs with John Feldman and making an album, and it's
Side of things that we didn't see.
we were kind of just before that, so it's cool to see like a fresh perspective on everything. Yeah.
You're saying we have time for one more.
I think down in front with the fuchsia shirt on.
Pink
I'll
shirt.
go for fuchsia now. I'll agree with you.
Like there's like
Um,
row,
We've broken
like,
How do you guys try and push your boundaries while writing new music? Because you've brought out so many albums, it must be like hard to try and keep pushing your own boundaries.
I think we do it. Oh, right.
Yes.
Come on.
It is. It's hard, you know, in the sense that you know, we've got 6 albums, and well, with the new one, and so it's, you know, you never want to get stale, but at the same time, like I said earlier, 3 of those records were like, we were really young, so it almost doesn't feel like.
At that point, it was just, it's written. That's what it. Do you know what I
And
mean?
now it feels much more self-aware and focused, like I said, and.
And a lot of the songs that Alex writes and comes back with, you know, there are times when we're like, this is too out there.
Sure.
So like Alex will write songs that are all over the place, and which is awesome because then we all can kind of agree on what the album should sound like. But about our music is you can kind of go in so many different ways with it, but in the end, you know, it's the same 4 dudes, and we're gonna pick songs that are all time low and not too crazy.
It's cool because we get to shape what all time low is becoming and what all time low is evolving into in a way. It's like we've been saying it a lot recently. It's like all time low operates within their box, within a comfort zone, but it's a pretty big box, and I don't think we're ever like dead center of that box. We're always kind of skirting. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like stretching a rubber band without breaking it.
So you do like sort of pushing your comfort zone a little bit?
Absolutely. You know, I think record, with how long we've lived with these songs, it didn't feel like to us at this point that this record was that different. But we've started to hear back from certain like press people and people that have heard the whole record. They're like, this record's pretty different. It's like really all over the place. And I was like, is it? It's weird. And it's just one of those things that like changes your perspective a little bit. And I guess, you know, we did really stretch ourselves to make album.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Sorry it can't go on a little longer, but we have a sound check now. Thank you guys.
Namaste.
Sang. See you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can we do that?
Jamie?
Shred it.
Yes.
Here, our guy can take it.
Tell me now.
Yeah. We have snow for next week.
Where you want.
Wherever you want. Okay.